Coming up tonight,
staying sober in Midtown.
Zombies will soon invade SLU.
And Missouri is on UFO alert.
You're watching SLU News T22. Good evening, I'm Katerina Canyon.
And I'm Will McKenna.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
The university is stepping up its efforts to combat underage drinking by forming the Midtown Coalition alongside the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the City Excise Commission. The biggest effect of the coalition is that metropolitan police officers will increase their presence on campus and can now search students for violating liquor laws. Furthermore, if a student is found by the STLPD to have been drinking underage, that student will not only be subject to disciplinary action from the university, but also from the city of St. Louis.
Raul Artal, MD, chair of the Department of Obstetrics, Gynecology, and Women's Health at St. Louis University, was appointed to a 2-year term as chair of the Liaison Committee on Gynecology, also known as LCOG. Artal will assume the position in March. LCOG is an umbrella committee for all women's health specialty and subspecialty organizations. It serves as the coordinating advisory board to the obstetric and gynecological organizations and to 3 related government agencies.
The College of Arts and Science will host a premiere of the documentary A Woman Like That at 2 p.m. on Thursday, October 13th in Carlo Auditorium in Taylor Hall. The documentary discusses the life of Artemisia Gentileschi, the 17th century Italian painter. The screening will be followed by a discussion with the filmmakers. Admission is free.
There is still time to register for SLU's Got Talent, the contest hosted by the Class Legacy Program to benefit their Emergency Scholarship Fund is accepting entries through October 12th. Entrants have the chance to win $250 and $100. To register, email the Class Legacy Program at clp@slu.edu.
The Women's Studies Brown Bag Lunch Series will host their next discussion, Child Pornography, Sentencing and Demographic Data, Reforming Through Research, on Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. in room 144 of McGannon. The talk will discuss how public and political panic about child pornography evolved within a growing fear of the internet itself and draw on data to expose the vast difference between the type of offender Congress intend punish under pornography laws and those that are actually punished.
Finalists from the hit television show So You Think You Can Dance will perform some of their hottest stage routines live on stage as part of their So You Can Think You Can Dance Tour 2011. On Saturday, October 15th at 7 p.m., the live on-stage dancing includes routines in hip-hop, contemporary, ballroom, tango, Broadway, salsa, and more. The finalists performing in 2011 tour are Caitlin, Clarice, Jess, Jordan, Marco, Melanie, Mitchell, Ricky, Sasha, and Tad.
SLU's campus will once again be overrun by zombies. Sign up for this year's Human vs. Zombies game have opened. To register, go to www.hvzsource.com. The dates of the game have not been announced.
When we come back, we'll have a closer look at local news and national news.
Welcome back. St. Louis County Police are seeking the public's help in locating a missing person who is considered an endangered person. According to police, Stephen Cross, age 17, left his residence in South County around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday after consuming Xanax and alcohol. Cross is 5 foot 8 inches tall, 130 pounds, with brown eyes and a shaved head. When he was last seen, he was wearing white cargo shorts and no shirt or shoes. If you have any information about Cross, please contact the St. Louis County Police at 314-889-2341.
4 teenagers and a 4-year-old child were fatally injured in a car accident yesterday when the driver's car struck a tree off Interstate 70 near Shreve Avenue. Another passenger, a woman aged 22, is in the hospital in critical condition. Police are currently investigating the cause of the accident.
St. Louis Sheriff's Deputy Jason M. Stewart has been charged with 2 counts of drug possession and unlawful use of drug paraphernalia. Authorities report that Stewart was caught this week buying heroin while in uniform and while carrying a loaded weapon. St. Louis Sheriff's Department reports that DEA undercover officers were monitoring a house on Tuesday when they witnessed Stewart buying drugs. Stewart, who had worked for the Sheriff's Department for close to 3 years, was dismissed after the Sheriff's Department learned of the arrest.
St. Louis Fashion Week starts on Tuesday with a fashion show on Cherokee Street featuring the finalists from the St. Louis Project Design Contest. Fashion Week runs until Saturday and will feature the latest fashions from top designers. For more information about Fashion Week, go to www.alivemag.com.
Edward Jones Dome will be hosting the Bands of America 2011 Super Regional High School Marching Band Championship on Friday, October 14th until Saturday, October 15th. This competition will feature up to 60 bands on Friday and 12 to 14 bands performing on the evening's finale, which is on Saturday. For more information, go to www.musicforall.org.
Next Sunday, the Fabulous Fox hosts Scream Tour, The Next Generation, featuring Mindless Behavior, Diggy, The New Boys, Jacob Lattimore, Hamilton Park, and OMG Girls. This show is famous for transforming artists from obscurity to superstar status and has featured stars like T.I., Chris Brown, and Sierra. And you never know what surprise guests are going to show up. The show has had surprise visits from Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Kanye. If you are interested in tickets, go to the Fabulous Fox website at www.fabulousfox.com.
Protesters are still taking to the streets after over 20 days of protest on Wall Street. The Occupy Wall Street movement has not only remained strong, it has spread to cities like Boston, Chicago, Atlanta, and Seattle. The protesters are angry about the state of the economy and feel they are being hurt for the sake of the richest 1%.
The National Air Guard and Space Museum in Washington was closed Saturday after anti-war demonstrators tried to enter the building to protest a drone exhibit. The crowd of over 100 people arrived Saturday afternoon carrying signs in protest of war. When the security guard informed them that they could not bring signs into the exhibit, he was held back by force. A second security guard used pepper spray on at least one person, and the crowd dispersed.
Federal health authorities report that a nationwide outbreak of listeria in Colorado cantaloupes is now responsible for 21 deaths, and the number may continue to grow. CDS officials have said the symptoms of listeria can take up to 2 months to show up, and they expect more illness through October. Listeria is a rare but more deadly than Salmonella and E. coli. While most healthy adults can consume listeria with no ill effects, it can kill the elderly and those with compromised immune systems. It is also dangerous to pregnant women. Symptoms include fever and muscle aches and is often associated with gastrointestinal symptoms. Coming up next, we have a look at international and technology news. Don't go anywhere.
He doesn't watch How to Catch a Predator because he already knows how to. He doesn't make wishes he makes wishes come true. And he is said to be the inspiration for Neil Diamond's Solitary Man simply because no one else is that interesting. I don't always watch news magazines on closed-circuit television. When I do, I prefer Mondays and midnight.
I was going like this.
He doesn't watch How to Catch a Predator because he already knows how to. He doesn't make wishes, he makes wishes come true. And he is said to be the inspiration for Neil Diamond's Solitary Man simply because no one else is that interesting. I don't always watch news magazines on closed-circuit television. When I do, I prefer Mondays and midnight.
Interim government forces in Libya report that they had major gains in the battle for the city of Sirte. However, heavy fighting continues in the hometown of former fugitive leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. The National Transitional Council reports that once Sirte falls, they will declare liberation even if Gaddafi remains at large.
French President Nicolas Sarkozy and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, the leaders of Europe's two largest economies, displayed a united front today after meeting in Berlin about the European debt issues, but did not offer many details about how they would solve the financial problems. Sarkozy said, quote, "We will do this together with our German friends in full agreement. There is no prosperous economy if there are no stable, reliable banks." Sarkozy and Merkel pledged to pursue a recapitalization of European banks through detailed proposals were still in the works. However, they stressed the importance of acting quickly before the upcoming G20 meeting in Cannes, France. Merkel and Sarkozy's meeting today comes ahead of a meeting of finance ministers of the G20 nations in France on Friday and Saturday.
CNN reports 23 people are dead today after a clash between thousands of protesters and Egyptian army forces in Cairo. Egypt's Association of Coptics reported that 17 civilians died in the clash, and Emir Amman, an army spokesman, reported that 12 troops were also killed. The protest started as a peaceful march toward the Egyptian television station. Then protesters report that they were attacked by people with swords and clubs. Ala Mahmoud, a military spokesman, reported that some protesters began firing ammunition at the TV army. State TV reported that a curfew has been imposed for the times between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. around Tahrir Square, and Central Cairo's Egypt National Justice Committee plans to hold an emergency meeting on Monday to discuss the incident.
The Daily Mail reports that former Apple CEO Steve Jobs left behind plans for at least 4 generations worth of iPads, iPhones, iPods, and MacBooks. Steve Jobs, who died peacefully in his home on Wednesday, spent a year preparing for these future cycles of his famous technology.
Apple's iPhone 4S sold out on its first day of availability. The iPhone 4S went on pre-order on Friday. It is dubbed as the most successful iPhone launch ever. More than 200,000 orders were taken in the first 12 hours. Users who still want to pre-order the iPhone 4S now are seeing shipping estimates of 1 to 2 weeks. Another option is to wait in line at the Apple Store, as the iPhone 4S will be coming out this Friday.
This past Friday, Google Chrome added a new extension that will let a person from one computer remotely control another across the network. This software will be useful for its administrators managing employees' machines or for people taking care of relatives' computers. The technology requires that permission must be granted each time remote administration is activated.
We'll be right back with a look at sports, entertainment, and one strange story. Don't go away.
He doesn't watch How to Catch a Predator because he already knows how to. He doesn't make wishes. He makes wishes come true. And he is said to be the inspiration for Neil Diamond's Solitary Man simply because no one else is that interesting. I don't always watch news magazines on closed-circuit television. When I do, I prefer Mondays in Midtown.
Welcome back.
And it was a busy weekend in sports here for St. Louis University as the women's soccer team played Friday and today, winning the match on Friday against Charlotte. Took that one as an A10 champion, or wins that one in the A10. And then today, taking on Duquesne, they finish in a 2-overtime tie. So the Billikens now sit at 4-5-2 on the season, and 1-0-1 in Atlantic 10 play. Also, men's soccer is going to be back in town this coming weekend, and they're going to start Atlantic 10 play for the first time here at Robert R. Herman Stadium, which is going to be nice to see as we'll see the men's team hopefully climb up those rankings. Also tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals took on the Milwaukee Brewers, in which they lost a heartbreaker, 9-5. And that was the first game of this NLCS series. So we hope that they'll be able to pull those out here in the next couple days, as we really want the St. Louis Cardinals to bring home that NCLS.
What do you think their chances are?
I think they have some pretty good chances against those Milwaukee Brewers. They're going to be pesky, as they have a great offense, but I definitely think they're going to be able to pull this one out. Crowds of fans gathered around Town Hall in central London as former Beatle Paul McCartney married American heiress Nancy Shevell today. The 69-year-old rock star married his first wife, Linda, at the same location in 1969. McCartney serenaded Shevell with a song written in her honor. He also sang Let It Be and let me roll it.
The Chicago Tribune reports that drug overdose is suspected in the death of former Weezer bass guitar player Mikey Welsh. Welsh was found dead yesterday afternoon in his room at the Raffaello Hotel in Chicago. He was found unresponsive on the floor after he failed to check out on Saturday. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are currently conducting an investigation.
Real Steel topped the box office with a predicted $26 million on opening weekend. Coming in second is George Clooney's The Ides of March, which features Ryan Gosling and Philip Seymour Hoffman. It should finish the weekend at about $11 million. And then finishing at third is Dolphin Tale, whose sales only dropped 31% and should make $10 million this weekend.
Police in Albuquerque, New Mexico arrested a man for pretending to be a police officer when he pulled over an actual police officer. According to the police, 42-year-old Tyree Appleberry turned on the strobe lights of his white Chevy Tahoe in an attempt to stop a driver. The driver turned out to be an undercover police officer.
Missouri was on UFO alert this week as several state residents witnessed unusual boomerang-shaped lights in the sky. The brightly lit vehicle was seen flying low over cars along the highway. Missouri has the 8th highest number of UFO reports in the U.S. this month.
So,
we're going to go ahead and move on to our quick 7-day forecast for weather. And it looks like it's going to be a nice one coming up here for all of us on the St. Louis University campus. On Monday, we're going to start off with a high of 79 degrees and a low of 61. We're going to move on to Tuesday, where we'll have just about the exact same outcome with a high of 79, low of 62. Wednesday, we're going to have a 50% chance of rain and have a high of 76 and a low of 62. On Thursday, a little bit more of the same, as we will have a high of 71 with a low topping out at 55. So that could be a little chilly there on Thursday. Coming up on Friday, the coolest day of the week, we're going to have a high of 67 degrees and a low of 51. So be sure to get those jackets ready on Friday if you're planning on going out that night. On Saturday, we'll have a high of 68 degrees and a low of 53. And then finally on Sunday, we're going to wrap it up with a beautiful day with a high 73 and a low of 51. Looks like we're going to have a beautiful week in front of us as the weather just looks absolutely spectacular.
It certainly does look like it's going to be a gorgeous week. Well, that's our show for the night. Thank you for watching.
And don't forget, you can always get the latest news online at SLU-TV.slu.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you back here next week at the same time.